Welcome, friends,
to the How-To Heretic.
I'm Uncle Mark.
And I'm Uncle Dan.
And this is your user's guide to life on the outside.
That's right. Leaving religion's the first step into a larger, better world.
But it can also be a scary world. Things work differently now.
Never fear. That's why we're here.
We're your audio uncles, and with help from good friends and experts in all sorts of fields,
we're going to share the stories and seek the knowledge to build a great life.
After all, you only get one that we know of, so you'd better make the most of it.
Right. Hey, Uncle Mark.
Here I am, and here we are.
Here we are.
Episode 43.
Amazing. And, you know, I've never been a fan of round numbers, so 43 is just my style.
Yeah, it's a weird one, it's an odd one, and let's embrace it for what it is.
Yes, indeed.
And it is all those things. I'm going to have a little talk about a religion that no longer haunts the face of the earth, and I think we're all better for it.
Yeah, and it's a peach of one. And then I am going to introduce us to yet another Bible story, and boy, will we learn some valuable lessons from that.
Yeah, exactly right. And we'll seek some wisdom there. And then Uncle Doug is going to talk about something that makes me deeply uncomfortable, so I don't even want to reference it before we get there. A quick word of warning, in our Meet the segment, there is talk of sexual assault of a kind, but it is not graphic, so fear not.
Fear thou not, friend.
Let's do the show.
Yes. Well, gentlemen, here we are. It is a beautiful day in Utah and or Canada, depending on your perspective. I assume.
Beautiful.
Is it beautiful up there? Good.
Unbelievable. It's the 1 week a year where you can shed your outerwear and wonder what that incredibly intense light in the sky is.
Yes, I remember when I spent a summer in England, I had to tell them, you guys should try this. We at home we keep this big giant ball of nuclear fusion up in the sky. It just keeps everybody nice and toasty. You guys should look into one of those.
Yeah, it's so bright it'll kill you.
Yeah, don't look at it. Yeah. Don't follow Donald Trump's example. Anywho, yes. Hey, Uncle Mark, I think you're going to tell us about somebody today. Is that true?
Yeah, we in our journey around the globe, we love to meet groups of people, don't we? We love to explore and get to know folks, because that's kind of what we're about is building bridges, Dan. That's who we are, and we're gonna meet a real piece of work that had a religion and that kind of got rolled up. So in today's we're going to meet the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember these guys. They were in the way that at my age I kind of remember evening news stories about the Rajneeshis in Oregon of course, that were recently the world met in Wild Wild Country,
right,
on Netflix, and all that craziness. There was a lesser but similar kind of old memory of this group of people who also had a compound in a small town, and things just kind of came off the rails. So we're going to talk about these folks. So they went through many incarnations, but what finally became known as the Nuwaubian Nation was founded by a guy named Dwight York. Little aside, he had many more names than that, lots of aliases, and we'll get to them.
Oh, sure.
But born in Brooklyn in 1935, he also claimed he was born in New Jersey, and he also claimed he was born in Ghana before he claimed he was born on the 19th planet of the 19th galaxy. So, you're going to detect a pattern with this guy. So we'll get into all those patterns. So he got
that
involved.
Pattern is progressive truths.
That jump from New York to New Jersey to Ghana to the 19th planet. All right.
Yeah. Well, baby steps until you develop the warp drive. But
right.
he's really amazing. He believes in evolution, just the evolution of his ideas. So
Right.
But his ideas kind of come from a much larger umbrella, which was and still is called Pan-Africanism. Pan-African is not the Pan-African movement is not necessarily a bad thing, and usually quite the contrary. It sprung up in the 60s as a way to help rebuild black societies shattered and divided by the slave trade, and instill pride and political empowerment for the African involuntary diaspora in the Caribbean and the Americas. So its famous adherents are such people as Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Malcolm X.
Right.
Huh. So
and the
that's all
idea
good.
came from the notion that all of these slaves didn't have any. There was no documentation as to what part of Africa they came from, or like where, like they didn't have access to their actual roots. So it became a sort of celebration of all of Africa as being as being sort of their homeland. Is that right? Did I get that sort of correct?
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of like the foundation of it. Is that what they all had in common was Africanness.
Right.
And of course, they don't know whether they were from, Niger or Benin or, Nigeria or or now. And of course, now amazingly, a lot of black folks are able to trace that back, and that's really cool. That they're kind of a friend of mine recently did that and kind of found out his story, or the fragments of his story.
On top of the fact that a lot of those borders and boundaries were imposed on Africans by colonial powers, so you know what I mean. Like, so even if it turns out you're from Ghana or whatever, it that may not be the tribe,
right?
You know what I mean?
Precisely right. And Pan-Africanism also is, it is a response not only to the horrors of the slave trade and to the dislocation that former Africans feel and that the children of Africa feel, but also a response to colonialism and its ongoing shit, right? So,
white people.
Exactly. We'll talk about that too. So, they had Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and W.E.B. Du Bois, but they also had Muammar Gaddafi. So we won't let a few bad apples spoil the barrel. So the same movement that sought to deal with issues of post-colonial Africa as well, contending with the suffering caused by minority apartheid rule in South Africa, et cetera, et cetera. So a movement that was set up to fight apartheid and work to rebuild lives and societies after the ravages of slavery and colonialism, working to bring something close to democracy to Jamaica, giving black youth around the world a sense of deep cultural identity, all good things. But a few less positive things sprung out of this reclaiming of lost identities. And like anything else, any good idea is just waiting for an asshole to come along and use it for unsavory ends.
Sure.
And you'll see with our new friend Dwight York, and this is fun, our new friend Dwight York, a.k.a. Malachi Z. York, a.k.a. H.E. Dr. Malachi Z. Kabina York T.M., a.k.a. Grand Mufti Divan Noble Reverend Dr. Malachi Z. York L. Deep breath. A.k.a. Isa El Had El Mahdi, a.k.a. I can't even read this. Naya Malakizodok L, a.k.a. Imperial Grand Potentate Noble, Reverend Dr. Malachi Z. York, 33rd degree / 772nd degree. Okay. And all his co-religionists were some of those very assholes.
Oh, my God.
That was a long way.
That is amazing. When was he P. Diddy? Puff.
I get it all going
confused.
to poop when I get to the P. Diddy part. Dwight, whatever his name is, and his group fall under what the Southern Poverty Law Center call the Black Supremacy Movement.
Okay.
Along with the Black Israelites and the Nation of Yahweh and a few other notables, some of those, no doubt, we're going to talk about in future episodes because they're also really fascinating. So beyond the idea of empowering and rebuilding a larger African identity after centuries of slavery and the lesser horrors that continue to this day, black supremacy goes quite a few steps further. It's exactly what it sounds like. White supremacy, but black, right?
Right.
It's racism. So now I get it. White supremacy, not so much. Why are white people so mad at black people when it's other white people that are the cause of all their problems, right?
Sure.
It's because they're idiots who refuse to understand the real reason their factory jobs went away. But with black supremacy, sure, you can tease out just a little thread and see why maybe they could hate white people.
I want it to be noted right now that Uncle Doug and Uncle Dan are waiting to decide whether we sign on to what Uncle Mark is about to say. I'm just putting that out there.
We'll edit that part out. They agree with. Thank you for agreeing with everything exactly as I said it. So York and his Nuwaubians, just like the Black Israelites, dress up their racism in a bunch of garbage racial theory cooked up from the same stupid swamp white supremacist racial theory comes from. Hint: the Bible. And some very, very peculiar interpretations of it that I'll get to in a sec. So at the end of the day, it's really just racism. So by 1967, York was becoming a player in the Black Power movement in Brooklyn, and there he founded a plethora of different groups. This guy in names, man, such as Holy Tabernacle Ministries, so far so good, the Ancient Order of Melchizedek,
Ooh.
All Eyes, spelled Eyez, on Egypt, the Egyptian Church of Charist, and he was very, very adamant about not spelling Egyptian here with a Y. It's Egiptian, so know that.
Okay.
The Holy Baptist Synagogue, and, of course, Lodge 19 of the Ancient and Mystic Order of Malachizodok, before eventually landing on what would be his last creation, the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. So York's ideas were a crude pastiche of pre- and post-Islamic African identities, specifically the polytheism of ancient Egypt with a dash of Christian magic, mostly from the Old Testament, some Jewish mysticism for good measure, Freemasonry because obviously, etc. But his crazy syncretic collage was much more than that. So Dan, you remember when we talked about syncretic ideas, yeah?
Obviously.
You basically take all the ideas you stole from someone else and throw them in a pot, turn up the heat until you get a stew that you can somehow call your own. But
it's philosophical gumbo.
It is a gumbo, and everybody's welcome, except white people. So let's let a journalist named Adam Heimlich of the New York Press, who wrote about Dwight York's, yes, hip-hop career, explain a little more about the sources of York's ever-evolving cosmology and Nuwaubian religious doctrine. And I quote, "A partial list from my notes of places I'd encountered Nuwaubian notions before includes Chariots of the Gods and the Raelian embellishments of that book, conspiracy literature, UFO literature, the human potential movement, Buddhism and New Age, astrology, theosophy, and Blavatsky, who we'll have to talk about at length another time, Leonard Jeffries and other Afrocentrics, Case, Lyndon LaRouche, alternative medicine, self-help literature, Satanism, the Atkins diet, numerology, and yoga."
Glad we got Atkins in there.
he just wanted to eat more meat. Come on.
Yeah.
And many of these York mentions by name. There are also extensive discourses on the Torah, Gospels, and Quran, as well as Rastafarianism, the Nation of Islam, and the 5% Nation. Those are also black identity groups. So,
Okay.
at around the point of founding the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors, York had pretty much settled on a blend of UFO mysticism, Native American dress and animist beliefs, and Kemetism. Now, Uncle Dan, I know you're a celebrated Kemetic and could prattle on for hours on the subject, but I'll just explain a little for the good of the people so you don't go on a tear.
It's kind of you.
And
I can be long-winded.
You can go on and on about your chemetry. So Kemetism with a K is basically Egyptian neo-paganism. So if you think of your friend who has a Buddha statue and gets their tarot done and likes crystals, it's that, but for black people. So York began to rub all the other black Afrocentric identity religious leaders the wrong way in Brooklyn.
Weird.
So in 93, he was not a popular man among them. So in 1993, he packed up the crazy train and moved south to the unsuspecting Eatonton, Georgia, which is about 60 miles outside of Athens, where he and a few hundred followers built Tama-Re, a low-rent Luxor of foam pyramids and Egyptian statuary. And there's pictures of it online. It's kind of amazing, like how kind of small town carnival it looks.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But,
I'll bet it was delightful.
It's delightful.
The henge from Spinal Tap.
Yeah, it's got a henginess to it that's pretty charming. So for one final time, he changed his name, this time to our own Pharaoh Neter-A-F-Erti Atum Re, becoming the first and maybe last Egyptian pharaoh of rural Putnam County, Georgia.
Never say never.
So now that he arrived at kind of his almost last stop, let's take a little dive into his beliefs. So the beliefs of the Nubian nation as it kind of settled in Georgia. He insisted that Native Americans were actually descended from black Africans who moved to that part of Pangaea that would later become North America before the continents drifted apart just a brief 200 million years ago. Also, like David Icke, who we talked about last week, he was obsessed with the Illuminati and the Bilderbergs and all those kind of classics, right?
Sure.
And then again, here's where his kind of racist, excuse me, his amazing race theory comes into play. In 2004, he wrote, the Caucasian has not been chosen to lead the world. They lack true emotions in their creation. We never intended them to be peaceful. They were bred to be killers with low reproduction levels and short lifespans. Another explanation has
Caucasians... they did a shit job of engineering us. If that's what happened, they did the world's most piss poor job of engineering because, frankly, we ended up doing all the things they didn't want us to.
Right? Like, whose fault is that?
Right?
Right? We gained self-awareness at some point and fucked it all up. That's why you don't fuck around with this stuff.
Have you seen how many children we can have? It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, I love. He never met a Mormon family, I guess. So
yeah.
Another of his racial theories was that Caucasians descended from our old friend Cain. And,
yay!
He flipped it. Yes.
He just took all white nationalist bullshit and just did a word search, replaced white with black.
Find and replace.
Added a record scratch. He just turned that frown upside down, didn't he? So, right. Adam and Eve were sent. This is me quoting him. Adam and Eve were sent to the Aegean Islands between Asia and Europe, where they started having children, and each couple's firstborn child was an albino, and those albinos were called Cain in the Bible, and Cain is short for Caucasian.
Oh. So in biblical times, they were using English then?
He had some really interesting language ideas, which I'll cover in a sec, but because this was happening around the same time as the Heaven's Gate people, the superficial similarity of York's beliefs to those of the Heaven's Gate cult led some to worry that the group's mass suicide during the appearance of the comet Hale-Bopp in 1997, that York and the Nubians were planning a similar forever sleepover, which luckily didn't occur.
Yeah.
So, however, he would self-destruct in a comparably horrible fashion soon enough. So, and this is really one of my favorite parts. You'll love this. He taught this kind of hilarious notion of pseudo-etymologies or pseudo-language.
Okay.
That basically there are truer hidden origins of common words that differ from the understood definitions. Here's a few. Believe, the word believe, actually is be-lie Eve, which means to lie to Eve's children. and it gets better.
Go ahead. Sorry.
As I say, Caucasian actually comes from carcass Asian, meaning white people are degenerated Asians.
Oh man, I just want to. I'm just picturing all of his people sitting in a room and just yelling out words for him to just deconstruct. Do mountain. That comes from mounting 10 people. Every mountain has 10 people underneath it. So
it's amazing how hidden in plain sight all this meaning is, right?
Right.
We could have known this all along. So
if only we had such a good interpreter.
But we are carcass Asians, and therefore also albino Cain people,
right?
From the Mediterranean, I suppose. So the word God, G-O-D, comes from, as he says, the Hebrew letters Gomar, Oz, and Dubar, signifying wisdom, strength, and beauty. The only problem is Hebrew does not have an O,
Right.
and the names for G and D are Gimel and Dalet, respectively, not Gomar and Dubar.
Gomar and Dubar.
I remember Gomar and Dubar. That wasn't Mayberry. What was that one? I'm trying to figure out which show they were on.
I think those were Saddam Hussein's nephews, weren't they? So
It was two of the seven brothers for the seven brides were Gomar and Dubar.
And then lastly, of course, this one is my favorite. Jesus is a combination of the words Jah and Zeus.
Right.
Yeah.
Boo.
That makes. I mean, what's good about that is that we get the jaw part in, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
So, amazing wordplay for a guy that was apparently not an insignificant player in the hip hop world of the 90s. And I just could not put myself through trying to find any of his music on YouTube, but apparently there are claims that he had quite a bit of influence on 90s hip hop, up to and including that the Nuwaubian belief that they were somehow Native Americans, as I explained inexplicably earlier, led to who was it? Andre 3000. Who was that band?
Outkast.
Led to that really controversial Grammys performance with Outkast when they had teepees and Native American outfits.
Oh shit! That was because they were buying into his bullshit.
That is what is alleged. So I don't know if there's any proof for that, but this is not a court of law, and that doesn't matter.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good with geography. I
Yeah.
don't know of a country called Nuwabi or Nuwabia.
You're assuming that's a country? I was assuming a planet.
Well, I think it comes from a Nubian.
Corrected.
The idea of Nubians as black Africans.
I see. Yeah, sure.
And then he just put his little spin on that.
Gotcha.
So who knows what that means and who really cares? So he insisted, getting back to the less fun stuff here, he insisted that the family unit, of course, like most cult leaders and religious leaders, is the building block of society. But on his compound, he kept couples separated from each other, and even their children separated them for months at a time. That's called foreshadowing. And couples were only allowed any intimate contact maybe once every 3 months if they were in his favor or at all. So
I'll bet they could contact him if you thought they were sexy.
Yeah. So, fellas, with all that amazing shit going on, how in the world did this paradise of reason and sanity come to an end, do you think?
I'm going to guess that we're talking a bang, not a whimper.
Right, if the pattern holds.
Whatever you're thinking, you're right. So somebody sent an anonymous letter to the county authorities alleging widespread child abuse in the membership. So the FBI took a look-see, and within months they had a major task force set up, undercover task force to investigate. So long story short, without going into too graphic detail, here's a quote from a book by Bill Osinski, who's a reporter that covered them for years in Georgia and then wrote a book about it after the smoke cleared. So,
sure.
Quoting him, he said, "When York was finally indicted, state prosecutors literally had to cut back the number of counts listed from well beyond 1,000 to slightly more than 200 because they feared a jury simply wouldn't believe the magnitude of York's evil." It is believed to be the nation's largest child molestation prosecution ever directed at a single person in terms of number of victims and number of alleged criminal acts.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And just a little side note, some of those indictments were involving children as young as 4. So it ended exactly as you guys thought. Just good news. He's eligible for parole somehow in 2022.
What?
So look out for a foam pyramid to pop up in your neck of the woods in the not so distant future.
He's gonna set up shop in the basement of a pizza joint in Jersey.
That's right.
Ooh. Topical.
I have a feeling that he's probably not going to get paroled with that kind of body count, but that was pretty much game over for the Nuwaubians. Their compound was auctioned off, and all the pyramids were torn down. You can go on YouTube and see some of his followers still insist on his innocence, and they talk about the court case and the appeals. And he argued in court that he was not couldn't be tried under the jurisdiction of the United States because he was a sovereign person and all that garbage. So
right.
you can also hear some of his really poor recording quality ramblings about white people and the origins of race, et cetera, but it's not as amusing as you might think. It's just kind of incoherent and rambling and sad. But just at the end of all this, and I don't know how many times we've come to the same conclusion on this segment, and we'll continue to, I will never stop being not amazed about the phenomenon that begins with some guy creating a new church/cult, so frequently ending with that guy committing sexual crimes against children.
Right.
Yeah, well, it seems to be like one of the primary motivators.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to pay taxes, and you are literally able to hide so much of your activity behind the separation of church and state, and the First Amendment, that it's kind of frightening. And I honestly think if anybody hangs out a shingle as prophet, we ought to have a look at their hard drive. That's just
honestly, yeah, that's the first thing that happens.
A beautiful dream of mine, but it'll probably never happen. So
No.
that's the new Wabian Nation, guys.
Wow, that's it's funny. You talked about his hip hop career, and I was like, well, I'd go and listen to some of his hip hop music, but I can't imagine him getting past the first. My name is blank. He doesn't even good luck.
40 minutes later, you're wondering what the fuck is going on.
Not,
Right?
not a lot of words rhyme with mufti.
All right, Uncle Doug.
You'd be surprised.
Uncle Mark, thank you so much. Let's move on.
Moving on.
Uncle Mark,
Yes.
we got Uncle Dan here with a fun Bible story for us today.
Oh, it's Bible time.
Have we
kids.
not gone all the way through? Are we not done? I feel like.
Do you have
I
any
feel
idea
like-
how fucking long this ridiculous book is?
No.
I'll tell you how long.
Interminable.
It's so long that they have to. You can't find a version of it printed on regular paper. They all,
Yeah.
you know how it's all that super thin paper.
Yeah, is that real?
That's because you can't find. That's because they don't want it to look as thick as it actually is.
That's right. It's like a third the thickness of. It's like a microfiche. It's like a third the thickness of. A bunch of millennials are running to their dictionaries right now, but it's,
Right,
it's like onion skin. It's super super thin. It would be twice. It'd be 3 times thicker.
Right. It's why you can't use a highlighter. You got to use like a little red pencil.
Oh my
because
God.
it'll bleed straight through.
I, who has marked up a Bible and Book of Mormon with red pencil for years, had no idea. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's because those pages are stupid. Anyway,
Can you imagine the size hotel drawers would have to be?
well,
It's
Right.
just the bed.
you've got one
It's
drawer.
just a duvet over a Bible.
I mean, they don't do phone books anymore, so I mean, maybe a Bible would be okay at that size.
Yeah, it's like you can actually buy a family Bible. You know, the big one that you used to have in the living room that had pictures in it,
Yeah.
on the little stand. But it's bigger than a phone book.
Yeah.
Also sending millennials running to the dictionary, which is not even a thing anymore. Uncle Mark signing off.
Uncle Mark has now aged out of the program, I'm afraid.
I'm going to Carousel in Logan's Run. Once again, millennials, you don't know what that is. Goodbye. What are we talking about?
As is my wont, I went and looked up one of the classic stories of the Bible that everybody loves to tell, including the actual Christians. Again, I am not telling the stories that the Christians hide away in the back of the books so that no one sees them. These are the books. These are the stories that they're proud of. And today, we're going to talk about wise King Solomon. I'm sure you guys remember. There's
The Christmas
one.
Carol. Dun, 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 dun. Is that the one? It's catchy.
It's good. It's delicious. Solomon was the son of David.
Right.
We all remember. We've talked about King David and how great he was. Solomon's mom was the lady that David
Probably raped.
but
Certainly
definitely she
raped.
was already married when he peeping tomed her in her bath and then demanded that she come over and fuck him. And then he had her husband killed so that he had free reign.
It's the world's first rom-com.
It's delightful. Yeah.
But just remember that rape is more recent a construct than the railroad,
Right.
So it's not really applicable to the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but she was another dude's property, and he stole her. So at least we've got theft on his plate. But we're not talking about David. We're talking about him and Bathsheba. They had a kid named Solomon. Now,
Yes.
So, 1 Kings is where all of this begins. And 1 Kings starts with... chapter 1 of 1 Kings is Solomon's sort of half-brother, because David had lots of ladies. So Solomon's half-brother declares himself the king.
Well, David had a lot of ladies after he had a boyfriend. So
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. I'm not about definitions, but I just want that out
We
there.
all play around in college.
Everybody's got that one guy in their background. And it's always named Jonathan. That's weird. Anyway,
It's a pretty queer name. It's a queer name. What do you want?
fucking queer.
If you don't want to be queer, you're John. Okay.
Right,
You're
exactly.
not Jonathan. Right. Okay.
100%. David. So David is on his deathbed, and Solomon's brother, half brother, Adonijah. I don't know how to say it. By the way, this book is just full of, it's so many names, and I just literally in my brain had to start replacing the names with words that made sense to me. So there's an Akbar, Admiral Akbar, and a Jojoba, and all these other things. That's not the real words. Anyway, I don't care.
What'd you call this guy? What was this guy's name?
Adonis. I don't know. I think so.
Let's call him
anyway,
Adonis. Sure.
Actually, what I should say, the book doesn't. It starts with David in his deathbed, and he's so frail that even with all the covers on, he's too cold. So they find him a virgin, a lovely young lady who will lie with him to keep him warm. That's nice. Anyway, one of his sons, who's older actually than Solomon, decides to go out, and because his papa is on his deathbed, he declares himself king. At which point, Bathsheba comes in and says, "Hey, didn't you promise it to Solomon? What about that? Why is this guy running around calling himself king?" And he's like, "Oh, what the hell?" And goes and then has his priests publish Solomon as the king, and has him anointed, and Solomon kind of wins out. And then 1 Kings chapter 2, Solomon has taken over. David calls him into his deathbed and says, "Hey, by the way, let me you're going to need to do some housekeeping. This guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy all were mean to me, but I promised not to kill them. You know what to do." And literally, so chapter 2 is just Solomon just going full Michael Corleone on all of his dad's old enemies.
Yeah.
And killing
You know
everybody.
what? This family is they are just shitbags, right?
They are. They really are.
We're going to get to the point, to the high point of Solomon's career, and your opinion of him will not change. He will be a shitbag throughout.
Yeah, they're just the worst. These are the worst fucking people. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so now Solomon's king. David dies, and Solomon goes up to Gibeon. I don't know what that is, but it's a high place, apparently. So the temple has not yet been completed. So everybody does their sacrifices on high places, and so Solomon the king went up to Gibeon to do some sacrifices, which, by the way, it feels excessive. He offered 1,000 burnt offerings on the altar at Gibeon.
Oh, God.
Which apparently does give you that's enough to get the Lord's attention, because that night he has a dream, and in this dream the Lord appears to him and says, "Hey, ask for whatever you want, and he ask for whatever you want me to give to you. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's brass ring, fellas.
1,000 wishes.
Right? Yeah, we always wish for more wishes. That's the first thing you do. Right. Solomon goes a different direction. Solomon says, he says, you have shown great kindness to your servant, my father, David, because he was faithful to you and righteous and upright in heart. We know this not to be the case, but we'll just glide right past that and move on. You have continued this great kindness to him and have given him a son to sit on his throne this very day. Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David, but I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties.
Wait a minute. Didn't he just massacre just a shit ton of people and then burn 1,000 animals?
Fuck ton of people. He just had them all put to the sword, including, by the way, his brother who tried to be king before him. Not for that, though. He did not kill him for that. What he killed him for was that his brother went to his mom, Bathsheba, and said, hey, will you go to Solomon? He'll do it for you. He's not going to do it for me. He'll do it for you. Will you ask him to let me marry the lady that Dad was with the Dad's bed warmer lady?
The virgin?
God, the virgin.
This is so fucked up.
And, and that's what Solomon apparently thought that was horrible, so he killed him.
What?
Yeah. I don't get it. Look, it's not my book.
That is, of every event talked about happening in the Bible, that is the least crimey, right? That a virgin slave girl just laid in a bed without being fucked by a king. And like, wow, that is the most G-rated thing to have happened in the Bible.
Right.
And that's what he's mad about?
Well, I mean, what he's mad about is that is that then his brother wants to do actual biblical things with her. So
but
baby.
We're just it's a throwaway part of the story.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He murdered his own brother.
Yeah.
And we're just moving on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, it's not disqualifying. It's not the end of the story for this guy. It's like, no, it's good. We're fine. Just
is his half brother.
The wisdom of King Solomon.
Well, he's not wise yet. let me be clear. We're in the middle of that conversation.
But I really do like this part of the story where he killed his brother. It's starting to grow on me.
I know. Okay, I keep signing off again. Bye, kids. I'm just looking for some Bible kind of consistency here, and I know that makes me insane. But if Noah was so careful to preserve every fucking animal on Earth by putting them two by two in his floating zoo.
Yeah.
There's just a few generations later, there is an insane carelessness with animal welfare, I find, in the later books of the Old Testament. Is there not? Like, it is just an annihilation of animal life in the Bible.
Truly.
After one of its foundational stories being so about, I give up. I give up.
Do give up. Do. Absolutely. Right. Everyone despair, all ye who enter here. Yeah. We're going to keep going. Solomon is talking to God, you'll recall, and God has said, I'll give you whatever you want. And he says, I'm only a child, do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have chosen, a great people, too numerous, starting to sound a little Trumpian, great people, too numerous to count or number. So give your servant a discerning heart to go. Oh, now it's not Trump anymore. To govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours? So he has asked for discernment.
Okay.
Which that's probably a good thing for a king to have, I imagine.
It's a kingly thing. Right? A good king. A good king will have discernment.
Do you need discernment before you realize that killing your brother is a bad thing? I suppose you do.
Apparently, yeah. So he didn't. So it's not his fault. He didn't have the Lord's discernment yet. And here's what the Lord says. Here's what you've won. Not only do you get the discernment that you well asked for, but because you didn't ask for wealth and fame and fortune and the death of your enemies and long life for you, you get all the prizes.
Oh, my God.
Including a free set of steak knives that he then embedded in all of his first cousins' necks. Right. Apparently, that's coming, right?
And he gets the dinette set, and he gets the ceramic poodle.
Oh my God. Again, bye, millennials.
Bye, guys. They don't know that that's a... Do you guys remember the old... back when Wheel of Fortune used to have a rotating set of prizes that you had to spend your money on the set? Yeah, that was...
And the price was insane. And one of them was like a full-sized ceramic cheetah or animal, and it was like $4,200.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's in 1980s dollars, kids.
Yeah. Remember it well.
Anyway,
fondly.
So the Lord has blessed him with all of the wealth and all of the things and wisdom. He is now super duper wise, you guys. Which leads us to the famous story that we all think we know, and we, for the most part, we do. There are a few details that I was unfamiliar with. We're talking about these two mothers that come to Solomon. Now, I did not realize that these two mothers are, and there's nothing in this that condemns this, prostitutes.
Oh.
I guess that explains why there's no papas around. But
if you're a woman in the Bible, you're either the somebody that a king is going to rape, or you're just a straight up prostitute. Those are the options, right?
Pretty much.
Right, or you're the person, or you're a villain who like keeps trying to tear some good man down. But these two prostitutes come to King Solomon, and they tell the following story. One of the women says that the other woman. So they both had kids within a few days of each other. One of them had a baby, then the other one had a baby like 3 days later. And one of the women is claiming that the other woman so they were lying with their babies, and the other woman rolled over and squished hers.
Oh.
And it died.
All right.
So so what she did, sneaky bitch that she was swap out the babies in the middle of the night, so that the other woman woke up with a dead baby and not her.
I can see Judge Judy's face right now, just like...
It's not... Yeah, this is more of a Wapner than a Judy, I would think.
Yeah, not buying this.
So then the other lady's like, nuh-uh, I didn't do that. And she's like, because I could tell. She says... When she woke up, she went to nurse her son, and he was dead. But when I looked at him closely in the morning, I saw that it wasn't the son I had born. So now Solomon is faced with a real conundrum, kids. Right. Obviously, what do you do? And
you kill the women,
right? They're just prostitutes. They're women in the Bible. They don't matter. And then you keep the baby because that's property.
Quick question, Dan. Did they have names?
They do not.
Yeah, of course not. Okay.
No, of course. That would be silly.
As Doug says, the pattern holds.
So, we all know this part of the story. I hadn't thought about it. You know, you don't think about it when you're told as a child that this represents the pinnacle of wisdom, which, by the way, the Lord said he was going to give him discernment, the likes of which would never be seen again on this earth. And here's how that plays out. He calls for a sword, as you know, and they bring him a sword, and he says, cut the living child in two and give half to one and half to the other. Now, as we all fucking know, there's literally no one on this planet who would be like, yes, do that, and we'll each take half of a dead baby.
Right.
That's never, ever going to have happened. That's impossible.
Right.
If there are humans involved, what they would say is, oh my God, you monster, and scream and maybe try to run away.
Call the police.
Right.
Right. And of course, we remember this most famously from when it was celebrated in episode 123 of Seinfeld, right? Where Newman decided the only solution was to cut the bicycle in half.
Right. and so okay, so the plausibility is now dead for the rest of this story, because we know for a fact nobody would be okay with that.
Right.
But in this story, in the stupid Bible, one of the wives goes, sounds fair.
I like it.
I mean,
My God, yeah, I'll take half a baby.
which half do I get?
Right.
And then the other mother goes, "No, wait, give her the baby, just save its life." And Solomon wisely then knows that she's the true mother because she wanted to save the baby's life. Because this story is stupid.
Stupid.
And we all learned a little something about ourselves here, didn't we? He smiled smugly and nodded his head.
Right.
It's just the evil of even the good moments is so shocking.
I know.
right?
And okay, leaving aside the fact that this is no form of government where every petty squabble is taken directly to the king.
Exactly. Yeah. The big question between two prostitutes. Well, take it to the king.
Right.
If you want to know, we need somebody wise to deal with this. It's not something that can just be dealt with, because certainly the king has nothing bigger to deal with.
And I mean, how does he adjudicate property disputes?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
We're going to cut the land in half. Oh, I like that. No, wait. Oh, man. No, so...
You do not want to go to him with any bris-related disagreement. It's just going to end with nobody being happy.
Cut the penis in two. And
Except
give
Yahweh.
Half to... Anyway.
although divorcing parents of Siamese twins probably found this very useful.
Yeah, right?
What with the cost of healthcare being what it wasn't.
So when I'll give you the last verse of 1 Kings chapter 3. When all Israel heard the verdict the king had given, they held the king in awe because they saw that he had wisdom from God to administer justice.
All Israel is stupid.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Doug said it. Everybody.
This doesn't speak well for ancient Israel. Ancient.
No.
Yeah, yes.
Israel.
The Jewish state of Israel is an amazing ally to the United States. Is the red dot still on my forehead?
Anyway, from
these emails are going to be fantastic.
From there, nothing happened. That is the whole of that story. Solomon then goes on to, like, the next chapter is just about naming officials and governors, and it's boring as sin. And so that's it. That's the whole story of
Wow.
the two mothers, the prostitutes, who end the such wise ruling.
And to your point, this is a story we were taught as children,
Yeah.
as
Right.
toddlers.
Yeah. I remember distinctly my mother, a very intelligent woman,
Right.
telling me this story of this wisdom.
Wow.
And now when I think about it, I'm like, no.
It's a horror story.
These are both mothers, both of whom want a child, and one of them, her answer is, yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah, I get the top half, yeah?
And again,
Go
like I
for
was
it.
saying before, even the horror of the parts of the Bible that are basically considered the good parts. Here's a guy saving a baby, but in order to get there, it's just ghastly.
Ghastly.
And if anything else, it's like, look, this is when this thing was written. If any of these stories are true, and who knows what fucking portion of any of this garbage is true, this is not anything to emulate. There's nothing from that time,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
That except maybe wine and lute music that is worth fucking visiting in the modern world again. There's just nothing there.
Well, the other thing
for
about
us
this
to
story,
learn lessons from.
The other thing about this story is that once it's heavily publicized, even if this trick actually worked, which it didn't, I can't emphasize that enough, but even if this trick actually worked, once it's publicized, it doesn't work ever again. It's a ruined trick. Everybody now knows the correct answer.
Exactly.
So there you go. The wisdom of Solomon, gentlemen. Enjoy your Bible.
Yeah, let's throw it in the wood chipper and move on.
Moving on.
You know, there are bad people, there are good people, and there are great people.
Indeed. All of those categories exist in the world.
Yes, that is the human spectrum, but we don't give a shit about two of them. We just want to talk about the great people, and those are the patrons of this show.
Yes, the people who listen to this show find it worthy, at least to some extent, and they go to howtoheretic.com, click on the Patreon thing, and they become patrons. They like the Medici of old. They become people who pay for their content.
That's right, and that certainly is a tricky comparison, but let's just stick with it for now. Yes, the Medicis, they were among the world's great people.
Absolutely.
But you can join their ranks, and Dan is going to extol and write the names of these Medicis in the stars.
Yes, indeed. So we got just a few people to thank this week. Judith, Mike, and Sam are all of our this week's big winners. Who they get the Cupid doll? They get the I'm not sure what they get. They get
to live in a palace in Venice. That's nice. That's a nice thing.
And they get some of them get early access to our show, which is fun. They're Monday people now, not Dirty Wednesday, people. So that's good.
Yeah,
and
that's the filthy Irish Wednesday people down in Steerage.
and they get their the undying and eternal gratitude of their favorite uncles. So thank you guys so much.
And our very soon to come listener patron only content.
Yes, that is a thing. Especially once Mark gets back into back stateside and gets to join us in the post-apocalyptic hellscape that is these United States. We'll be able to record some stuff just for our patrons, and that's going to start happening ASAP.
Yeah. Once I am back under his eye, we'll make some fun stuff. And even if you don't have the money to be a Monday person, you'd sure be you could kind of be a Tuesday person, I guess, if you just go to any of the Pod Blasters iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Mostly that just helps the word get out on the pod, and more people who could use some yucks can get some yucks. So do that for us, and we'll love you forever.
Yuck. Let's move on.
Well, Uncle Dan.
Yeah.
We have once again invited our special raconteur, Uncle Doug, to join us, and I have a feeling this is not going to be pleasant for any of us. This is I'm very uncomfortable already.
Well,
and
here's what you do: take something round and smooth,
Yeah.
throw it up inside of you.
Put it in your poos.
And we're all gonna learn some stuff from Uncle Doug. Uncle Doug, what do you got for us?
Today in our Watch Out for Woo segment, I have basically woo that has been enriched in a North Korean centrifuge. This is Gwyneth Paltrow's health and wellness woo emporium called Goop, Goop. Goop. Now, I know you thought the worst thing that Gwyneth Paltrow ever did was star in Shakespeare in Love, which took the Oscar for Best Picture in 1998 away from such movies as Saving Private Ryan and The Thin Red Line. But you'd be wrong. She's done far worse. She started... So Gwyneth Paltrow, just so we know, Goop, the term Goop, the name Goop, is it takes her initials, G and P, and it forms it into a word that she says, quote, means nothing and could mean anything. Now...
Oh, how clever she is.
This whole thing...
Oh, my God. She the whole thing right there. She just gave away the game.
And she does frequently. The thing is, there's repeated occasions where she kind of lets the cards down about how fucking stupid this all is. But she's making so much money, which we'll get to. All right, so Goop started in 2008 as a pet project, a health and wellness brand email newsletter. With such tight, it was recipes and other bullshit, but pretty innocuous. They had some articles called Police Your Thoughts, for example. One was Eliminate White Foods.
Eliminate
I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find it. I don't know if it's a racist thing or if
just
it was
means it doesn't have any spice, and it's...
I think it's for sure a racist thing, and it means casseroles. They're targeting, food is political, and they're targeting us, and I don't care for it.
What would I do without casseroles? One was called Nourish the Inner Aspect. So we're verging on the woo, but it was just a newsletter. And then I guess
when she said, that's foreshadowing again. When she says nourish the inner aspect, she's saying feed an egg to your vagina.
She's not saying that yet.
Once someone explained to her the meaning of a fool and their money are soon parted, She opened an online shop in 2012, and in that first year, the online shop made $1.5 million.
Wow.
And it's basically doubled its sales every year since then. So exponential growth.
Wait, what year was that?
2012. She didn't start this till 2012.
Oh my God!
And
So she's
now it's
making
off the
crazy
charts.
money.
Off the
Yeah.
charts. And you know, she fully kind of leans into this bullshit. In 2015, she advocated for a spa treatment referred to as vaginal steaming.
Oh no!
That
That's
that
what
doesn't
doctors
sound
call
like.
a genital scald.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't do it at home.
Don't ask me how I know
Don't do it at all.
Don't do it at all is the correct answer. That's right.
You sit on what is essentially a mini throne, and a combination of infrared and mugwort steam cleanses your uterus.
Infrared. That doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean any. Infrared and mugwort steam.
Does she sell the throne?
She advocated the treatment. I don't know if she sold a throne or not, but as we'll get to in a minute,
And do they ship to Canada?
they basically sell everything. Now,
Now, is this all geared at the ladies?
there's a men's section, but it's funny because it's very much geared towards the ladies. There's a specific men's section, but all it is the least feminine pieces of the rest of the empire,
Right.
Kind of crammed in here, like.
Just-
Yeah, you want some face cream?
I mean,
Look,
I guess a man could use this. I don't
Right.
know.
Look, I know that Melania Trump has this whole no cyberbullying thing, but I'm just going to say this: if I meet and I'm a gay man, if I meet a man that is using any of this goop stuff, I'm going to beat his ass. I'm going to slap the shit out of him. So just know
please
that.
wait until we're there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Fag bashing.
let's talk about some of this. Okay, obviously, by the way, gynecologists are not fans of vaginal steaming.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly.
That's so surprising.
Amongst the products that are sold on the website, and the quantity of bullshit that's sold on this website is alarming. You're not here, Uncle Mark, but Uncle Dan, I'm showing the website the category list.
Yeah, that's just the categories.
Yeah,
It's not even.
exactly, and it's everything from beauty products to bags to shoes to books, and I mean it's the whole.
Is there a
gamut.
category that's just what to put up your poos? Is that one of the categories?
Up your poos.
Up your poos.
Up your poos. So amongst
What
the
would be
products
great?
are what's that?
Here's how they should. Sorry to interrupt. Here's how they should show what's available to put up your poos. It should all just be in X-ray form, right? It should all just be things that cannot be retrieved, and so you need a little professional help to get them out.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is just a whole slew of shit product. Everything on the website is fucking idiot. There's a replenishing night cream for $140. It's sold out, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, darn it.
Active botanical serum for $185. And this is from the website. This is a skin transforming oil. Thanks to an infusion of 22 of the world's most active organic botanicals mixed with powerful essential oils.
Yeah.
That is woo, woo, woo.
You know what's an active botanical?
I don't know.
Poison ivy.
You know, the truth is that, like, most lotions and whatever are just sort of oily, whatever. A lot of the skincare stuff could just be very fine for the skin. It could be nice.
It could be. It's possible, sure.
But I'm sure that she has... The problem is that the claims are, that these are all going to be miracles. That these are all going to solve all of your problems. And
Goop has found itself in legal trouble more than once because of these claims.
right.
So amongst others, so there's a hyaluronic serum for $300. There's Uncle Dan, you're going to love this one. There is the Goop medicine bag for $85. Quote, inspired by the shaman's medicine bag from various indigenous transitions. Traditions, sorry.
Native transitions.
Wait,
That's another segment.
Is it leather? Does it actually have like a pouch?
It's a pouch. This Goop exclusive pouch holds magically charged stones, citrine, clear quartz, black obsidian, rose quartz, amethyst, lapis lazuli, cornelian, and chrysocolla, also known as the goddess stone. It is a bag of fucking rocks.
A bag of rocks
for $85.
Yes.
And then
And are they small rocks? Because I don't think I can get all that whole bag up my vagina at once.
these are not the rocks for your poos, Mark. These are a little jagged.
But you know what?
All right.
Try anyway. Who knows?
I'm not saying I'm not going to try it.
Get that goddess up there. Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah.
And then Uncle Dan, this is for you too.
Uh-huh.
There are a series of water bottles, the smoky quartz, the amethyst bottle. Quote for $80, $80 fucking dollars. This gorgeous water bottle is made with smoky quartz crystal to infuse the water with positive energy.
Nope.
And-
Okay. I
Wait,
hate
what
her.
the fuck is it made of?
Uncle Mark, you can't see this. It is a water bottle
It is
with
a
a crystal in it.
Plastic bottle with like sort of obelisk shaped crystal
In it
sort of projecting up into your water.
for $80. And of course, Uncle Mark. Oh shit, I forgot. There's also a between the sheets section.
Ooh.
This is. I'm out. I'm out.
No. Get back in here. You're going to love it.
Among other things, there's Benwa balls, which I didn't know about.
Benwa balls are a thing. Yeah.
Strengthen your Kegels and have a better orgasm all at once.
Okay. Yeah.
Any guess on the cost of the Benwa balls?
What are they made of?
Fuck if I know. Metal.
Benwa. I'm gonna
Unobtainium.
I'm gonna say $140. I don't know.
$885.
Jesus Christ!
What?
I have never spent that much
$885?
for an orgasm in my life.
Well, and you showed
Yes,
me
you
the
have.
that ring with feathers on it. That was
It's like $150. No, it was more than that.
it was a fucking fortune for it was literally a ring that goes on your finger and it's got feathers. So
And then, Mark, you'll be happy to hear about the in January 2017, Goop marketed the Jade Egg for $66 as a
Yes.
form of vaginal weightlifting. According to the website, is used by women to increase sexual energy, health, and pleasure. And then I love this quote after it. It says, again, gynecologists were critical of this project or product. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
you think?
That's all it says. Is that there's teach the controversy essentially?
Yeah, and it says if it in case it gets too far up the vagine, it can be expelled by holding in a sneeze or having a friend do a light Heimlich maneuver.
Turn in case of emergency.
Elevator.
Turn upside down, do a headstand, and have someone kick you in the face.
Just you're at work and you're just fucking trying to sneeze and rock out your fucking green egg.
I'm just sitting here
I would
imagining.
call the Ghostbusters. Oh my god!
I'm just imagining some kid being at home and suddenly his mom goes, and out comes an egg.
What
Mom!
will that do to
Mom,
his
you
view
laid
of
an
human
egg!
reproduction?
That's amazing.
I feel fine. Oh, so it came out. A laughing spell is another way to get it out.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Just read the instructions,
not
and it
an
might
egg.
be enough to get it out of you.
That's not an egg, guys. I got to go to the bathroom.
They've sold products that they claimed were made of materials that NASA uses in their the the biometer on your body as you're an astronaut, and then
Sure.
they had to apologize because, of course, they didn't use that material. They advocated coffee enemas.
Oh my God!
Which don't knock it till you try it, but
Or do that
Yeah.
sounds that look? Putting food in any hole in your body that isn't your mouth is going to be a bad idea. That's just never an okay thing to do.
I don't know. Ray Comfort has that whole thing about the banana, Dan. It is the atheist's worst nightmare.
And if his name is Comfort, it's got to feel good.
So you go, if you've got nothing better to do in your life, you go to this website. The quantity of shit that is for sale and the prices are unbelievable. I mean, it's got more fucking items on it than eBay.
Well, I mean, I think the key here is that if you're starting any kind of absolutely idiotic woo-woo type of business, aim it squarely at wealthy, bored white women,
Agreed.
Yeah.
and you're going to win.
Agreed.
You will do
Make it
well.
something. Make it a yoga accessory, and you will annihilate. Like, so I'm in Vancouver, and the guy who turned out, of course, to be a complete monster, who's the head of Lululemon,
Right.
Yeah.
right? He bought, like, in one of the nicest neighborhoods here, he bought like 3 adjacent lots that are like $1 billion a piece, and built this giant ass house right across the 3 lots. Right. That's money, selling money to white women who go to yoga.
Right.
That's so. Gwyneth Paltrow, I salute you.
Well, and to end it all with a nice little coda, she her response to all the criticism that her products were kind of out of touch or complete total bullshit was that the claims made about her products were, quote, aspirational.
She's actually good. She's actually like I have thought she's a certainly a solid actress and seems like a fun person, but I'm pretty impressed. Like, she's the white Oprah, but of just even daffier claptrap, right?
Well, here's what I've gone onto the website now. I'm on goop.com. I'm looking at it. I'm looking. So I went to the spirituality section, which is lovely. It's got a segment on near-death experiences. What is mediumship? Tarot cards, energy healing, how to use your intuition. It's got all the things. Practicing gratitude, that's just saying thank you. They've got a whole section on saying thank you. And then, of course, on the sidebar are all of the things that you can buy, including, but not limited to, sun potion.
No, don't tell me where that goes.
I don't know what it is, but there it is.
Lather up your jade egg in the sun potion before you put it up your poos. How many times do I have to say it?
It's so that you get a nice rich tan inside there.
Wow.
So,
well, we could do. I mean, that we could dedicate the rest of the every episode of this podcast forever.
We're going to do a
this
spin-off
website.
show called the Goop Hour, and it'll just be us exploring this website.
Just
'cause
reading items off the website.
It just goes on forever.
It does, doesn't it? It's unbelievable.
It's quite an amazing thing, and lots of articles that will lead you down terrible roads. Wow. I love how many of their articles end in a question mark because they can't actually make a declare. The end of Hangovers? Maybe.
Wait.
Our
what?
own thing. Yeah, no.
Forward me that article.
Yeah, I will.
Send me the link real quick.
What can baby teeth tell us about autism and heavy metals? Holy shit. That's a pretty
Oh,
impressive
boy.
headline right there.
Is that like teeth that are still in a baby, or just like a bag of baby teeth that you like shake out like what is it, Sinkei or whatever it is?
Like
Queequeg.
like throwing bones or reading
Right.
tea leaves.
Exactly.
I am not putting baby teeth in my vagina. Not again. I'm done. That was a stupid idea.
Put baby teeth in your poos once, shame on me.
I thought this fraternity was a good idea, but at the end of that week, I was like, I'm out of here.
my God.
that is wonderful, and I have to say, congratulations to Gwyneth Paltrow. She is clearly,
And
she clearly understands Americans at where they are.
Yeah.
go there if you want to the website, listeners, and just sort of knock around, have some fun. Just probably don't buy anything.
Yeah. If it's a choice between buying something on Goop and being a patron of this show,
Right.
get yourself a jade egg.
All right, well, I cannot stand any more of this conversation, so let's move on.
Moving on.
Well, friends, that's it for this week's show.
Hey, we would love to hear from you guys, especially if you've got something up yourself right now. Send us an email at howto@howtoheretic.com.
Or if you want to let us listen to you holding in a sneeze and the shattering tile that is attendant to that, you can leave us a voicemail at 903-88-HOW-TO, which is 903-884-6986. I am also on Twitter at HowToHeretic.
Right, and I'm on Facebook. You can find that also. Hey, thanks again to all of the people who had the wisdom of Solomon to become patrons of our show.
And thanks to Cody Layton, who does not have the wisdom of Solomon, for joining us in this endeavor and editing the show.
Indeed, and thank you, dear friends, for tuning in. We sure appreciate you.
Bye, friends.